how do you keep your pet hairs from getting on everything in your house?
But I'm allergic to cats, and they're dark cats, and I have white counters.
SupaKnowVa.
The reason I ask is because I was somewhere recently. There was cat hair. I felt like it was encroaching upon me, right? So I was like this the whole time, like, because it was, I had a mask on. It was on my mask. It was on my.
That's a lot.
It was on my clothes. It's on the curtains. It's in the corners. It's on kids' toys. It's on the table. It was on my laptop that I brought. It's everywhere. This cat sheds like it's getting paid to shed.
One cat? I was about to ask how many cats.
One cat.
One
it is
cat.
paid like it's a business.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so, that was my husky.
So I it's to the point where I feel uncomfortable. It's in your eyeballs. It's in your nose. So yeah.
You're flossing with it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. One time I was eating some food. It was in the food. I was like, all right.
Oh,
so
man.
Yeah, that would be the hard stop.
So
I get grossed out when my own hair gets in my food. It's just
if you guys were in this position, what would you say to the owner of this fine establishment? Let's start with you, Daniel. What would you do?
I would frame it as from a health perspective that like y'all just aren't living your best life there because cleanliness is always to a certain extent a matter of like personal preference, especially when it involves like a pet or some other valued member of the establishment. But you can bring it across that like, he's ain't like living your best life. You're not breathing as well as you can, frame it from that perspective is it's
forget about climate change.
Always works.
We're talking about the furs making everything hotter.
Yeah.
Okay. Keith, how would you handle it?
I don't know. I feel like I'd clean a space for myself and kind of
stay in that space.
Well, keep whatever
you're gonna keep it to yourself. You're just gonna.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to approach that situation. Would like to tell. I mean, depending on who it is, like especially like that situation where there was my wife's sister. It's like and her husband is like I don't know how to.
That's really not your place to say.
No, it's not my place to say. It's their place. I'm just there.
Yeah. And you can extricate yourself from that situation.
It's a place you're on the like health front. If it's a place you're staying at, in a matter of like slight dishonesty, people develop allergies that they did not have before
growing up.
You can make it a non-negotiable and they would not be able to credibly question, well, why the heck wasn't this a problem
before
X amount of time before? Well,
it
is now. It's a problem. We got to get this place clean.
Yeah. I know we're running out of time, but I do want to, like, for me also, it's kind of like
nuts.
My great grandmother, when she was alive, she lived in basically kind of like a shack. And we would go there for Thanksgiving during the summer for a few weeks or something like that sometimes too. And her house was just full of roaches. Like,
that's a far cry from.
That's very different.
Yeah. It's different, yes. But it's what I'm saying is just you live like I had to stay there for a few weeks, like a couple weeks to a few days or something like that. And it's kind of like it's not that you get used to it, but I mean that. Compared to hair or something like that, it's like I'm not that bothered by the hair.
Grandma, I don't care about your feelings at that point. I'm just gonna tell you.
There's always a limit.
There's raisins in my salad.
It's also a reasonable person standard. It doesn't.
And it's dancing.
Like if they're getting offended, but most other people would side with you. It's different.
Well, normalize it. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, roaches. I mean, she was in her defense. She was way too old to.
Right.
She was like 90 something. She was like when she died. She was 99. She was born in 1906.
Jeez.
So, So like she really could not do much of that stuff on her own. So when we got there, my parents did spend the time trying to clean it up. But there have been times where I've seen, like, I slept in a cot in the main area one time with me and my cousin, and I woke up in the middle of the night to to the floor just I saw all different types of species and everything, walls, couch,
floor.
moving, yeah. So I've seen, but so compared to that, I think hair doesn't really bother me as much.
What? Okay.
This is like the highlight of this
Let's-
episode.
let's take a break.
Where did this come from?
Let's take a break. I want to finish this conversation. That's Paulo.
That's Keith.
That's Daniel.
That's Otis.
And we'll see you guys on our next drop.
Beast to the puzzle.
Later.